What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. Let's get into it. Guys, listen. It's been over 3 weeks since Alisha Watts has been missing. I've been covering the story. A lot of other YouTubers have been covering the story. Amongst the things we've been talking about is her ex-boyfriend, who some say is a prime suspect, some say he's a person of interest. All depends on where you're hearing it at and who's saying it. But it doesn't really matter right now. This young lady is still missing. The community is calling for answers. Families calling for answers. And as of recently, the police department down there in Charlotte has just spoke up a little bit about it and made a statement after 3 weeks. Now, I've been in contact with some numerous sources that are very close to the situation. And they've been keeping up with me, you know, keeping me updated with what's going on down there in Charlotte. And I want to tell you guys something. You will be hearing something very soon. And when I say very soon, very soon. I'm going to play this video clip real quick, and then I'm going to read an article, a small article, but I want you guys to pay attention to both the video and then the article, and we're going to come back and break it down, and I'll go a little bit more into what we're talking about. This is a video that you've got to pay attention to if you're following this case. Let's go with the video. Check it.
Another top story tonight, the search for missing Moore County woman Alisha Watts continues. Her family says Allisha came down to Charlotte to see a comedy show with her boyfriend back on July 16th.
Now they say she never made it to that show and she has not been heard from since. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre has been following this case for us. Joining us now, Jesse, you've spoken to loved ones. What are they telling you tonight?
Well, they say they are worried about Alisha Watts, her whereabouts, and with every day that passes, that worry just continues to grow. But they say they will not stop saying her name, they will not stop searching for her, and they will not stop asking questions.
When somebody disappears, we know that time is of the essence.
It's been 3 weeks since family members say they have seen Alisha Watts on July 16. The Moore County woman traveled to Charlotte to see her boyfriend, James Dunmore. And after not hearing from her, they reported her missing on July 19. Since then, court documents show investigators have searched Dunmore's home, where both their phones were pinged from the 16th to the 18th. Criminology expert Dr. Alex Del Carmen says police rely heavily on technology.
We're able to track phones, and in this case, they've already done that. Pinning phones and being able to understand where the phone is at a certain time. It's very important to investigators.
Dunmore was also found in Watts' car on the 18th in Anson County, unresponsive, after police say he tried to kill himself. Monday, a car parked at Dunmore's home was removed from the property. Neighbors say a package from his front steps is also gone. No charges have been filed, and Watts' family is left with many unanswered questions. Carmen says police are careful about the information they release because they do not want to hurt their investigation.
They want to make sure that the suspicious person that is still on the loose, that is still consuming information, is not going to be spooked out and simply leave the scene or leave the area.
WCNC has also learned Dunmore has a history of domestic violence, including previous charges for abduction, stalking, assault, and battery. In a post on an Alisha Watts Facebook group, a woman claiming to have been in a relationship with Dunmore since 2008 and married him in 2021 supports the claims, calling their relationship toxic and Dunmore a dangerous man. She says she was a victim of domestic violence and filed a restraining order against him. Carmen says a lot of work is done behind the scenes and every detail is important to investigators.
I would say that the public can help always, because I guarantee you somebody saw something or somebody heard something.
Meanwhile, in a statement from Watts' family, says they will not give up until there is justice for Watts, saying in part, she does not have a voice right now, so her family, friends, and devoted community will be her voice each and every day until she is returned back to us.
All right, guys, that was the video. I want to go and read this article to you guys real quick, and I want to see if you can catch some of the stuff that's being said in here. The article is from the WSOC TV, Channel 9. It's on their website. It's not in video form, so it's an article. So it says, for the first time since Alisha Watts disappeared more than 3 weeks ago, The Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department is talking about its investigation efforts to bring her home. The captain of Violent Crimes Division revealed that as of right now, they do not know where Watts' boyfriend is. Watts vanished from his house in University City on July 16th. 2 days later, police said they found her car 50 miles away at a Department of Motor Vehicles office in Anson County. Her boyfriend was passed out inside from a suicide attempt. And it goes on to say down here, Channel 9 has meticulously dug into her boyfriend's past, heard from frustrated loved ones, and questioned CMPD on numerous occasions about their search for Watts, but to no avail. That's until Wednesday afternoon today, when CMPD Captain Joel McNally sat down with Channel 9's Genevieve Curtis. Investigators told Curtis that they do not know if Alisha Watts is alive. They also said that they have some evidence that at some point between July 16th and the 18th, she left on her own, but couldn't elaborate on that. So basically what they're saying is between the 16th and 18th, they're saying that Alisha Watts left the house on her own, but they can't go into it. So that's a new twist. Her boyfriend, James Dunmore, has a history of domestic violence and served time in prison for kidnapping. Curtis asked if they are looking into him. And the quote is her boyfriend, James Dunmore, a suspect or a person of interest in this disappearance? She asked. Now I want you guys to pay attention to what the police officer says. He says, person of interest is kind of it's a loose term to show somebody that you're interested in. Mr. Dunmore is someone that we are interested in and have tried to talk to, Captain McNally said. I think it's been widely reported that he was transported for a medical issue. I'm not allowed to say what I know about anybody's medical issues, but I can say empathetically that has been a big piece of the puzzle that we have considered very, very deeply. He has been cooperative in the attempts to try to talk to him, Curtis said. Due to his medical issues, we may not be able to successfully talk to him, McNally said. Okay, and do you know where he currently is? The reporter asked. I don't know where he is right at this second. I don't know, McNally said. Captain McNally is the head of the Violent Crimes Division. He also spoke to frustrations from the family members and community groups regarding the urgency and resources of this case. Quote, I'm sorry that those people that feel like we haven't communicated directly or that clearly, but I can rest well knowing, and our entire chain of command can rest well knowing that quite literally every single thing, if you can think of it, we've been doing it, McNally said. Curtis had more specific questions on the resources being used and not used in this case, but when a spokesperson cut off the interview. That's when a spokesperson cut off the interview. All right, guys, that was the news article, and I appreciate you for sticking around until this part. There are three things that are sticking out with this, and one of them is a contradiction. I want to know if you guys caught it or not. But before I jump in these 3 points I'm going to talk about real quick, let me say this. Regardless of what you think about, Alisha Watts missing and stuff not being done, from my understanding and sources that I've spoke to very close to this case, they know more than they're saying, and they're doing that for a reason. If you listened in the video, you heard the one guy, the criminal lawyer, or whatever he was talking. He said, they're not going to say too much to spook somebody to have them run out and go on the run. Right now, honestly, they're dancing around the subject and playing a confused role on purpose. And I know the family's upset and all this stuff, but I really need them to exercise a little bit of patience. This is a cat and mouse game that they're playing with said issue. Now, like the guy said, everything everybody's thinking and would do, we already are well aware of it, and we're doing that. They just quiet about it. The investigation still is going on, but I noticed something. We'll go into the first thing real quick, and then we'll come back to that. First thing that I got from that is they know where he is. They know where he's at. You know what I'm saying? And you can expect something to happen really soon from what I'm hearing. I can't get into any particulars, but I mean, from what I've seen and pictures I've seen, they know he's watched. He's watched for real. Number two, that person of interest question. Here's your proof. You know, they said, hey, is he a person of interest? What's going on? Why isn't he, is he a suspect? Did you hear what he said? Person of interest, that phrase is overblown. I mean, just somebody, you know, we talked to, and you know, and we spoke to him. Here's the follow-up. They don't want to say he's a person of interest because they, like the guy said, they don't want nobody trying to skate and run off. So they keep his name out of the limelight. They don't show his face. You see what I'm saying? Because he's not considered a suspect. The police know this. They're talking about it. They're not showing his face. I'm sure he's watching the news. Well, knowing him, probably not. But they're doing everything they can. This is a cat and mouse game. And everything you see is strategic. Even if we as normal citizens don't understand the process, the end game is to find justice for Allisha and to find her if she's still alive. Here's the contradiction, guys, and we're going to end it on this until we get another update. Said, did you hear the detective or whatever he was? He said, James has been cooperative when we had attempts to talk to him. When have you talked to him? See, they knew something we don't. I know they talked to him or whatever in the hospital or whatever. They should got the answer they need. They said he was cooperative, so it shouldn't be nothing left on the table. But then when they think about it, they said, oh, he's cooperative in attempts. We've been cooperative. He's been cooperative in attempts to talk to us. Then they flipped around and says this. Due to a medical condition, we haven't been able to talk to him right now. So are you talking to him or you're not talking to him? Was he cooperative in talking to you or he never talked to you? That's one of them things that you got to think about. Now, as far as these questions and stuff, they're going to be around for a minute. But I'm telling you, something big is about to happen and it's going to drop on all of us by surprise. Now, I know things I'm not privy to say. Some of them answer these questions. But I mean, somebody swore secrecy in me. I'm going to stick to that. You know, and it's like, I mean, when this hammer falls, you'll hear the sound from where you're sitting. Because, I mean, this coming and the movement has started on it coming down. So just be patient. I know the family's upset and I know everything, you know, it's a lot of frustration. She's still missing. But I mean, the big fish or the big piece of the puzzle that can solve and put the whole picture together is in hand and it's within grasp and the hand is moving towards it. So just be patient. But yeah, I just wanted to do this video because it talked about the update and it really said much about the same thing. But there was little points in there I saw, and then somebody sent me this article and I had to read it. I'm like, oh, it has a contradiction in it. He contradicted himself. They're talking and they're saying a little bit, but they're not saying everything to spook somebody, which I don't understand why. But, you know, in all honesty, I think they're building the case. They got all that they need, and they're waiting for the certain paperwork or certain things to line up to where when they go in, because it was just like with the Tiny Reed Nichols thing, when they was pushing the court dates back and the 5 officers were getting upset because they're like, hey, look, we got to get all this evidence in order and all this other stuff to make this case a real case. They're doing the same thing with this, I think. But I mean, leave me a comment, man. She's still missing. I know the family's hurting, and I hope she does get found safe. But, you know, time only tell. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.